Is this good news? I don't know. It's news, it's information. Knowledge is power, and we're getting answers. Sorry, I'm all disheveled. My kids are with my husband at work. He always takes them one day during prep week to help in his classroom. So I've been trying to knock out chores, and I was like, okay, let's make a video. But let's just go over what we learned this week. I'll start with least interesting. Urology, we have no answers. I just realized, in case you're watching this and you're new, you'll have to go back some videos regarding my mom's health, but we are trying to work with neurology, urology, pulmonology, rheumatology to get a lot of things figured out for her. She has multiple sclerosis, primary progressive multiple sclerosis, and we're now gathering other diagnoses. Like, we're starting a collection. Okay, urology. I have nothing to update. They never called to say she had a UTI after she left a sample, so I guess no news is good news. Excuse me, that was gross. On that front. Tomorrow she goes in for imaging. She has to drink 32 ounces of water an hour before her appointment because she is getting imaging done of her bladder and kidneys. And everyone is aware that she might have overactive bladder. She has some incontinence. I don't know how this test is going to work because she cannot drink that amount physically in a short period of time without like choking. That's an MS thing. And she's constantly feeling like she has to pee. So she is going to freak out if we won't let her go to the bathroom for an hour. I don't know how that's going to go. But we see the urologist in mid-September to go over all the tests because she's had other tests aside from what's coming tomorrow. And I'll have news then, but I really have nothing to offer on the urology front. On Monday, she had a telehealth with the pulmonologist who is handling her sleep problems. We did an at-home sleep apnea test for her, and luckily she doesn't. Ooh, Pretzel's kicking my phone. She does not need to go to a center for further testing. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness, because that was causing great anxiety with her. But she has, he called it severe apnea. I looked it up and it would be classified as moderate, but she wakes 25 and a half times in an hour, and they're like micro wakings. And then that's why she's like fully waking once an hour. And this explains the fatigue and everything. For example, you know, she went to bed last night at 9:30, and after I stopped tracking this morning at 8:30, she woke 11 times, like fully awake, which then made her want to go on the commode. It's not the sensation to urinate that's making her wake up. She's making that decision after she wakes up. Sometimes she feels an urge, sometimes she doesn't, and she just tells herself she should try. So we have like a lot of overlapping things going on. But anyway, a local medical equipment facility has gotten all the information, and now we're just waiting to hear from insurance so that they can come out and fit her for a CPAP machine, which she is also extremely anxious about. My dad had a CPAP machine, but his was hooked up to oxygen. It was a whole to-do. Hers is just a standard CPAP machine, but hopefully that will improve quality of sleep for everyone because like I have an intercom here. She presses a button and I hear it, and she presses that button during the night so my husband or I can go to her. It's my husband. She handles getting up better with him. I wake him. And she needs assistance every time she wants to get out of bed, and all three of us are just exhausted. So hopefully that will improve once the CPAP machine enters our life. And then on, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, we heard back from the rheumatologist because she started having knee pain last summer, and then in February it became much more debilitating, and then I would say 2 months ago she can no longer walk. We have to wheelchair her everywhere, where previously she used a walker. She can like use the walker to get from the bed to the commode, or to get from like the bed to the wheelchair, or the recliner from the wheelchair, but she can no longer walk. And it's not because of MS, which is frustrating. It's because of the debilitating knee pain. And she was originally diagnosed with a previous PCP and orthopedist that she just had arthritis in the knee. End of story. And then with the new PCP who referred her to a rheumatologist, and the rheumatologist ordered an MRI because the x-ray showed nothing. Luckily, no break. He also did blood work because he didn't understand why she should be in so much pain, because the osteoarthritis that she has in the knee, with the amount of ibuprofen and tramadol that she's on, would knock the pain out, and it's not. So he tested for autoimmune diseases other than MS, and the blood work came back clean. No autoimmune disease, thank goodness. But the MRI showed 3 things that were not previously seen, and I wrote it down. And please don't come at me if I mispronounce something, or if you don't agree with the information I'm relaying. I'm getting this off of her portal that listed all of this information. I'm just the messenger. So she has, of the knee, one knee, tricompartmental arthrosis, which is knee osteoarthritis with cartilage wear inside, outside, and under the kneecap. We have that, which is kind of what we knew in terms of, we knew she had osteoarthritis in her knee. That was picked up on the x-ray. Then she has a medial meniscular tear, which is damage to the C-shaped cartilage in her inner joint that could be caused by sudden twisting, heavy lifting, or gradual wear. She does twisting with her like walker, like to get in position. So I don't know if that, over the decade she's been using a walker, 16 years she's been using a walker, plus just gradual wear and tear, caused this, because she hasn't, she doesn't heavy lift anything. So she has that. And then she has moderate joint effusion, which is effusion with debris, meaning she has excess fluid around her knee with floating fragments inside the joint. Now, I don't know if she just had one of these singularly, if she would be in this much pain, or is it because she has all 3 and that's what's causing this level of pain? Because each individual thing it said the treatment is like over-the-counter care, but she can sometimes sob from the level of pain. Now, she has MS. Her mobility is difficult. She also has a fear of falling. She has, she constantly thinks she is swaying or falling, and she's not. We've had her tested for vertigo and all of these things. It's fear-based, the neurologist says. So there could also be fear playing into the pain, as well as she has no pain tolerance. Like the sign of the littlest pain, like she wants it gone. And I'm not discounting the pain. I'm just saying these are all things to take into consideration. The treatment, it says, for these things is physical therapy, over-the-counter pain relievers, hyaluronic acid injections, the RICE method, rest, ice, compression, elevation, and depending upon the size of the tear, the meniscus tear, would do surgery, and it did not explain the size of the tear, but she is not a candidate for surgery given her MS, and her mobility issues. We, aside from the hyaluronic acid, where you're already doing those things, PT was put on hold because we didn't have a diagnosis, so the rheumatologist didn't want PT to come in and potentially worsen a situation. But the rheumatologist said because of these issues, he does not treat them. She would go back to an orthopedist. So I'm awaiting the approval of a referral for an orthopedist. And I know so many people are going to go get second opinions, get third opinions. Aside from insurance things, like, limited doctors taking insurance, as well as one car situation, we are kind of in a specialist dry zone. We're in a specialist drought desert. And we could, if we drove 2.5 hours, we could enter a city full of specialists. But my mom cannot handle car rides of any distance, but especially of that distance. So to just hop around specialist to specialist to get various opinions can just sometimes do more harm than good. So, and this rheumatologist is extremely well respected and everything, so I don't deny what he's saying. This is not his area of expertise. Like, if it was an autoimmune issue, he would be gobbling this up and being like, let's figure this out, but it's not. So we have to go to an orthopedist to see what to do. That doesn't involve surgery, which pretty much just leads us to PT. And that's why I want to find out why she's in the level of pain she is in, where she can't walk and she can sob, and like daily life is extremely difficult now, because these 3 things, from the sounds of it, shouldn't have her responding this way. I don't know. So that's the story. Yeah. More waiting for CPAP, waiting for an orthopedist, waiting for the urology follow-up. But we have some information. All right, well, thank you all for staying along for this journey. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.